Now when it's size, we're live. Hello everybody. It's another stream for me and George today. Another collaboration stream. Of course, this time it's on my channel instead of George's channel. We should just be getting on with some running sessions, some requests, a bit of banter, chat, all good stuff like that. So then, I suppose we get on with it. George, have you got some trains ready to run?
I have indeed. I've realised that none of my signals are on, so oh, that was quite good. Dink. There you go. Signals are on now, and more importantly, I'll remember to set this one to green today, which I think I've just done. So yeah, we can crack on if you want.
Sure, I'll get some trains moving if you want to get some trains moving too.
Aye. Oh, can I just say, by the way, the actual final mishap count yesterday for my stream wasn't 51. It was 52 because I copied and pasted the wrong title across. So we actually ended up on 52, not 51.
Oh dear.
Oh, before we forget, drink of choice in the rather appropriate mug is tea. Yorkshire tea, obviously, because that's the correct tea.
Well,
anyway.
On the topic of tea, if I can reach it, wait, hang on, which camera? I'm on this one. I've also got tea in a travel mug.
Oh, the Freightliner. Oh, you like that livery, don't you, on the 66s?
I do. Yeah, I do. I've got all the stuff.
Pull a knob off my other controller today.
Go on and do it.
It should be PG tips. I don't think so.
Oh, who said that?
Timber Valley.
Oh.
Illegal.
Are you allowed to ban people off stream chats?
Eh?
You're allowed to ban people from stream chats?
I mean, you can ban them from your entire channel, but obviously it's your channel, so your choice.
Oh, I don't know. I've got to think about this.
You might have to.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to get some trains on the move.
Well,
I guess
I've just sent the 08 going. These are all the trains that were at the end of my stream yesterday, so I haven't bothered to check. Well, I've been lazy. Yes, I haven't bothered to change them over. So for now, we've just got what was on at the end of yesterday.
To be honest, I'm exactly the same anyway. So also, you know the blue A3 I was running yesterday, if you remember that. I've just
the one that were a bit dodgy.
Yeah, the BR blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just remembered it's actually tender driven. That's why I was feeling a bit stuck.
Oh, so it's like my Golden Eagle then, but obviously a.
Yeah. So I was just remembering because the wheels it was spinning like mad, but not going anywhere. I just remembered it's tender driven.
Mine did that for a while. I might actually be able to take it apart and show you, to be honest. It might help, but basically, you remember I did a stream ages ago. In fact, let me switch over to my other camera. That one. You might remember a while ago that I did a stream trying to get this tender apart to service it. And basically what happens is, because there's a plastic chassis and a metal motor mount, basically, I don't know if you remember the stream, I think Jaden might, but this was actually like basically welded into the plastic body, and I had to use quite a lot of force to get it out. When I eventually managed to take it out, what I found was, I'll take this wire off without wrecking everything.
I do indeed remember that stream, yes. It took quite a lot of force.
Yeah. Basically, what I found was that the actual bottom of the chassis, this plastic bit was actually lifted up, so half the driven wheels, two of the driven wheels on the tender, didn't actually touch the track. So I ended up like forcing this down very carefully, trying not to snap it. And eventually I was able to get it so that all four driving wheels touch the track. It might be the same problem for you, because as I say, plastic and metal, I think the metal expands, and as Jaden remembers by that stream, it sort of welds itself into the chassis. So it can be sometimes just a little bit tricky to get all the wheels on the track and such.
I remember that.
I've got to try and put this back together now. It's going to be joyous.
Timber Valley Productions is off. Goodbye. See you later, mate.
Evan Terry says he was watching one of Jaden's old videos and his voice is well squeaky.
Oh, don't mind me of that.
Why do you think I privated all my old videos? Because they were shocking.
Yeah, well, I was gonna do that, but I don't want the views. I don't want the views to go down. So,
Mine, well.
Statistics.
Oh no, that's not gone well. I think I've just knackered this tender drive somehow. The wheels aren't sitting in the slots properly. Why is that? Oh, they were just a bit stuck. Okay, nothing to worry about.
Oh, hello,
There we go.
Loud. You know what? My lettuce are actually running a bit better so far today.
Sorry?
I say that we've only been live for like... Well, I've only had trains running for like a minute, but
What's running a bit better, did you say?
My layout.
Oh, nice. Very good.
So, we're looking a bit hopeful for today. Shall I give the Merchant Navy some more coaches? I think I might. It's only got 3. I'll give it 5 or 6.
How many have I got? Oh, I've barely got any on at the moment. I've got, well, the 08 can pull basically all my coaches, but I've just put 2 on, and then the D11's a very, very weak puller, so it's only got 2.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If and when you eventually get another model, you need to get one of these. It's I think it's a what's Hornby's I don't know. I'll just show it on camera. You know what though? I honestly highly recommend these. This is the one I'm currently running. It's my absolute favourite. I love it. I rant about it all the time. But genuinely, if anyone's looking to get another loco, or you, George, one of these, worth the money. Trust me.
No. How much is it? Dare I ask how much it is?
I think it was 100 and... I don't know. It was like around the hundreds. I'll look it up in a second.
I bet you could get one second hand, because my 9F, where is it actually? Oh, it's just coming round. It's just gone past the camera. That was the most I've ever paid for a new model. That was £110, but it was a limited edition one, and it's a honking great big 9F, so I didn't mind paying that. But if it's a good quality model, I don't mind paying, around the £100 mark. I normally try to stay away from there, but I must admit, yesterday when you had it running, it did look very, very nice indeed.
Well, the detail on it, I mean, it's superb, and the fact is, it's got a really good motor, because I mean, I've had it hauling 11 coaches, 11 of my Mark 1 chocolate and custards, no problem whatsoever. Honestly,
I've seen Sam Strange's review of it. It's quite a good crawler of the Merchant Navies as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. And they got a massive flywheel, like the flywheel in those new ones, because that's one of the newer range ones. I think they released 2021, maybe 2022. It was like a year or 2 ago. When they took the body off and you look at the motor, the flywheel is massive. It is like the flywheel is the same size as the motor itself. It's huge. So like
if I got one, I don't think I'd get one in black. I think I'd get it in green, to be honest.
I mean, they do all the liveries. They do the Southern liveries, the BR liveries, all of them.
I prefer is it BR green? I think it is. Let me just check it's the one I'm thinking.
What, the Brunswick green, or like the light sort of light green and yellow from Southern?
Not the Malachite Southern Railways one, the BR green, I think.
Oh, right.
Let me just check what the Malachite one looks like.
Why do I have the feeling that I've seen one in BR blue?
Oh, yeah, the Malachite one I'm not keen of. It looks like a children's toy at that point. Mind you, we are playing trains, so...
That's what my friends call them, toy trains.
Blue Merchant Navy. Yeah, they did do one, definitely. I thought they did.
Well, worth the money, if I can say so.
Are the rebuilt ones... Oh, no, that might be different.
The rebuilt ones are the ones with the round boilers, and the unrebuilt with the spam cans.
Yeah, I'd get one that were a spam can, not like a green spam can, because, well, I just think it looks too similar to Tornado, to be honest, the rebuilt ones.
I mean, I've got a bit of a horde of Merchant Navies on my layout as of the moment. One of them is missing a smoke detector, which I told you about. Element Lines is in its box underneath me, and it's also broken because one of the bits on the driving gear is broken. So at the moment, the only one I've actually got running in perfect nick is the black one, the unrebuilt spam can. But honestly, if Hornby released another range of merchant navies, I'll get one pretty quickly. I would guess if I can afford it.
I'm gonna say you do like them, don't you?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, as much as I love Grizzly, they are beautiful.
Typically, I pick the most expensive combination. The unrebuilt one in BR Green is coming in at a fairly hefty price.
230.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna guess.
I don't know. I'm not looking second hand, but the one I've just seen is £180 plus. I might just have to settle for a rebuilt one, to be honest.
You know what? You've enticed me now. I'm gonna have to try and look up the one I've got. If you're
There's
interested.
one on carriage and wagon models for £180. I'm not paying that. I might have to settle for a Southern Green or a rebuilt one. Anyway, we'll have to see. I forgot to say hello to Al from Leighton Junction. Thank you very much for joining.
Oh, is he in?
Yeah, I
I
completely forgot about everybody in the chat.
No, I didn't see him. Sorry, Al. Cheers, mate. Thanks for joining.
Thanks to, well, you don't mind me reading the chat, do you? I know it's your stream, but
No, go ahead.
thanks to 156 Andrew for joining as well. Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. Evan Terry, we've mentioned. Yeah, thank you all of you for joining.
Right, I've stuck a train of about 5 Mark 1 chocolate and custards on the Merchant Navy. Now, I want to make the tray longer, but do I dare put on some blood and custard or some Pullmans or teaks? I mean, I've even got Southern Green.
Oh, just whack them all on, see how many it can pull.
Oh, you know what?
I'll bet you it's not as much as my German engine, though. That's an absolute monster.
Don't encourage me. I might actually have to try this now.
I mean, if you want, I will get the German engine out and prove to you that it will pull literally every piece of rolling stock I've got in the lot, because it will.
I've seen from what you've done with it, that thing's a beast.
Oh, it is. Metal body, metal chassis, traction tyre.
Is it one of the golden era ones, like the older ones? When they were made of metal, not plastic?
Yes. The tender body's plastic, but other than that, that is the only plastic part. Everything else is metal. It's a beast.
I'm just looking on the Hornby website, and for some reason, they only do diesel locomotives on their website.
What?
They do Flying Scotsman and Mallard, and all the others are diesels that I can see. When you go to locomotives by classes, they're all diesels. Oh no, there's an IF at the bottom, but they're all diesels.
I'm going to say, I don't think I normally search by class. I think I just normally put it into Google and it normally comes up. That's a bit odd. Is the diesel because they're all really expensive by any chance? And they're like, oh yes, you must buy this because it's very expensive.
I tell you what, though. Yeah, on the price of diesels, you're right there. They're so expensive. Like a class 37 or 66 or 55, wherever you want, can cost I think I saw I went into the local model shop not too long ago, and I had a look, and I believe it was a class 40, a BR green, BR brush green, whatever you called it, for the diesels. No, the brush green is 47. Never mind. It was a class 40, I believe, and then that was two, and then next to it they had a 9F. No, it wasn't a 9F. It was what's it called? Britannia. What class is Britannia? Isn't it just a Britannia class? Britannia and Oliver Cromwell and all of them. They're just Britannias, aren't they?
Well, I'm going to Google.
Either way,
standard 7.
That's it. Standard 7. They had a standard 7 next to it, and the diesel was roughly two times the price of the steam. And I'll tell you what, for what you're buying, the steam has a lot better detail, more moving bits. It just looks better. But diesels, like you said, it's too expensive.
I know they've got some very, very expensive double O models out, but the diesels are getting slightly extortionate. Although the Class 40, the Railroad Hornby Class 40 did tempt me, but I thought, nah, I could do with some cheap Lima diesels, because I do like Limas. In fact, I don't think I've got any Limas. At one time a day, I used to have loads of Limas, but I think they've all gone. We've moved on now. I really want a Lima 55 and a 33, because they're really nice.
Yeah, 55s. Honestly, my dad has them. He's not as much into trains as I am, but he has a bit of an unhealthy obsession with the class 55 when it comes to locomotives.
They go really cheap as well, the Lima ones. I mean, like 20 quid, like £20,
Really?
including postage to go for. The
Wow.
55s, yeah. The 33s in the nice liveries, like the BR liveries, go for a little bit more, and the greens go for slightly more. But,
Wow.
they go for a really decent price, the Lima engines. That's why I'm planning to buy myself a couple for Christmas.
Where do you look? Do you look on
You
eBay?
can get some really good second-hand Lima deals.
Where do you look on? Do you just look on eBay and stuff like that?
I just search eBay. I go on eBay and search OO gauge Leeser diesel locomotives.
All right.
I know they do steam as well, but
Well, I don't think at the moment I'm in the position to go and spend more money on locos that I'm probably not going to use that much at the moment. So, as much as it's intriguing, then I don't think I'll be buying anything soon. Right, I've hooked up some more coaches to my merchant navy. I'll get it on the move then.
the '08 there is barely managing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coaches. I mean, it is managing, but I think we'll stick a class 37 on the back of it and give it a little bit of a helping hand.
Come on, give me some beans. Whoa, look at this.
I'm just looking at my Hornby 37 now, and the traction tyres, despite me only having it for a couple of months, are knackered.
Whoa, I mean that's impressive.
I mean, it's not, my 37 hasn't been wheel slipping or anything like that, because if anything wheel slips, I'll stop it straight away.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the traction tyres can be knackered already.
I agree with you, Al, on that one. I agree with you that one, Al. The prices are getting extortionate now.
That's why literally all but one of my engines are second hand, or third, fourth, fifth hand, if you want to do it like that.
Ooh. You know what? I'm impressed with that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hookers. Oh dear.
The 37 is going on place of the 08 now because although the 08 was managing, it was choking slightly with 8 coaches, which is fair enough. It's only an 060. Is it 600? Is it 300 or 600 horsepower? I can't exactly remember how many it is. Oops, that's the wrong controller. I know it's not a lot anyway. Anyway, so I'll back the 37 round. This will be the most coaches the 37s had as well. Has Jaden just died? Yes, he has.
No. I just gave you full screen for a minute.
Oh right. I thought you'd like internet's gone or something.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully you won't have any of that.
Yeah. I haven't used StreamYard in a long time, so I'm slightly out of practice with how the mechanisms of everything works.
Well, it's pretty good.
Well, we'll see if the 37 can manage. It's got 8 coaches.
I was just seeing my Merchant Navy praises and now it's decided to derail.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
The 37 is wheel slipping. That's quite concerning, considering it's got 2 traction tyres. And 8, mind you, these are very... Yeah, it's not managing it. Right, let's get the German engine out. I didn't actually run the German engine yesterday, so...
Right, you didn't.
Anfield Road says, do a long train, see how much you can pull. I might do it a bit later because it will mean derailments of trains that go literally the entire way around my layout.
You know, on the topic
Usually
of
what
long
happens.
trains, I was just giving that a quick thought because I've got 466s, I think, 466s. They're all the same model. They're all the Hornby, are they Railroad or the other ones, or Super Diesel, I can't remember. They're all the same model, just different liveries, and I was wondering if that means I'd be able to stick them all together to make a double header or a triple header or whatever. Because they should have all...
They're all the same motor and mechanism, so as long as you don't crank it up too much, and as long as they're all sort of in the same condition wise, if you know what I mean, they should be fine. I mean, all the time. As long as two engines' speeds roughly match together, you see me double-heading and triple-heading stuff all the time. So you should be able to, yeah.
I'll give it a go, but as soon as I see any signs of like too much wheel slip or too much pull, any mode speed burn, I'll shut it down. But I'll give it a shot. I'll run the Merchant Navy a few more laps and I'll bring it in. Then I'll couple some 66s together. Well, I've got to get this back on track now. Hang on. Oh, come on.
Well, hopefully it's apparent that the German 03.10 coming round now is managing not a problem. It did stall over on the mainline section. That's just because the wheels are dirty and it hasn't been used for a long time. First time it's running probably 5 or 6 months. So, yeah, hopefully you can see it's managing without a hitch, really. It has actually got working headlights, but they're using an old bulb and they're very weak, so you have to either make the room completely dark or run it at orbit speed, which I'm not intending to do.
Well, your layout, do what you want. Right, I'm going to try and now bring this down into the station somehow. Right, you want to hear some point motor ASMR? If you can even hear this.
Oh, yes.
Right,
I heard it earlier.
Hang on, which points? That's 3.
You see, mine don't do that because I run them on DC. I think even if I ran them on AC, actually, my CDU would stop it buzzing. I'm fairly sure.
I could not tell you what these are running on. All I know is they make buzzing noises, but it's quite nice. And they have a really reassuring... Good.
No, go on. You started.
They have a really reassuring click when you put them in. Because you have to move the stick up, and then when you want to keep it in place, you put it to the side and it locks. If that makes sense. I'll try and show you later on stream. But
I'll show you mine in just a second.
Anyway, you finish what you were saying.
What was I saying? I think what I was saying was I'm going to intend to get like a higher voltage laptop power supply because I'm running on 12 volts DC, which obviously means the capacitors in the capacitor discharge unit can only be charged to 12 volts DC. So I'm going to I think that the CDU that I've got can take roughly 24 volts. So I'm going to see if I can get a higher voltage DC power supply, and then not only will it charge quicker because at the moment I fire a point and I have to wait a couple of seconds for it to charge up again. It should charge up quicker, and also, although they change without problem, it should just cause them to snap over a little bit easier.
Fair enough. I've had a bit of a disaster.
So did I, if you just noticed.
Oh, no. It's already going on.
You haven't got a mishap counter, though. We don't have to worry about that, unlike yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's probably a blessing in disguise, knowing us.
One of my Pullmans derailed and then decided to lose the German brute.
Are your Pullman carriages Bachmans or Hornbys?
Hornby.
Aye. Yeah, same here. You know what, though? The Hornby Pullmans, I tell you, are some of the best running, like the smoothest running coaches, or rolling stock, whatever you want to call them, I think I've ever had, honestly. They roll. Even though I fitted
lights to mine and batteries and added some weight to them, so they're not stock. But they do run very smoothly indeed, even with the modifications I've made to them.
Yeah, I've got a few. I think I've got 4 of them or something or other. I would love to get more eventually because, like I said, they are so smooth running. But what I really want to do is I want to get a full train of the Pullmans, put them on the back of my Merchant Navy, and have like a rail tour. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That would look awesome.
Now, what I'm going to try and do now is locate where on God's green earth my track rubber is. Because
I've got one here. I'll throw it through the screen to you.
You've just hit me on the head, you muppet.
my fault. Sorry. I've got another one. Do you want this one as well?
No. I'm going to get brain damage if you carry on doing this.
Right, I'm going to have to sort this whole derailment out.
I don't know where my track rubber is because, well,
Is it in your drawer?
the German engine seems to be running absolutely fine until it gets to this set of points, which makes me think they might be dirty. Oh, I know where they are. One moment, please.
Are they not moving across properly? Is that what it is?
No, it's just the dirty. I can see the carbon build up on them.
Oh, right.
From where I'm sat. I don't know where it is. It could be anywhere, to be honest. I've got so many boxes full of stuff up this loft. Oh, it's not going to be in there. Oh, I might just... Who knows where it is, to be honest. Whoa. Ow! Just whacked my head on one of the joists. That was... yeah, fun. Al said, which I meant to read earlier but forgot to, apologies, he said I think he was referring to the 03. Very nice big engine. Yeah, it is. My uncle gave me that. And there is a little story about it, which I will tell you. Well, yeah, it's Marklin. German company made it.
Yeah, but is your uncle German? Is that what it is?
No.
Incoming!
I'll tell you a little story about it in a minute when I've located my track rubber, which could be in my track testing box. Well, my things that I have my track testers in. No, it's not in there. Who knows? I actually got that thrown in, actually. I bought some, when I was very first starting trains, I bought like a little siding that I had when I was still in my bedroom. And because I think the bloke in the shop's quite liked me. He said, "Oh, I have this track rubber for free."
Is your model shop? I'm not going to ask what it is, but is it a small one? Is it like a little small one, or is it quite a big, well-established one?
It's relatively substantial. I mean, it's not massive, but you know.
Oh, right. I was going to say because those small ones, they always seem to be really nice to you. I like those.
There's two actually near me. One of them's very small, and the other one's quite modestly sized.
Right. Yeah, the small ones, they always give you lots of like you said, when you get friendly with them, they always give you like lots of little freebies, track rubbers, fish plates, stuff like that, which is always very nice.
Yeah.
That's why I like to go to the small ones, because the big ones just treat you as another customer with money in their pocket. The small ones, just, because the guy, the one near me, it's not that big. He's such a nice guy. He's subscribed to my channel actually. I got him to subscribe to my channel. I went behind the till and stood there and watched him subscribe to my channel on his phone. I was like, you want to do it. You want to do it. Just do it. I was like, you won't regret it. Just do it. Whether he watches my stuff, I have no idea.
I don't know where my track rubber is, but I've got a little brass wire wheel for my rotary tool that I'm just gonna gently give the track a little polish with. It's not gonna damage it.
Right, I'm gonna be pushing my coaches now from behind because I'm trying to do. Oh dear, that was a bit violent. Trying to do a little run around just so I can get them down and off. Oh dear, that was not a good idea. They fall over. Oh. Note to self: don't push coaches. Pull them.
Note to self: I've still got a point that needs replacing that I still haven't done.
Which one's that?
It's the. I'll get the. I've just shorted the. Yeah, don't short the controller with the wheel, George. That's not great, is it? I just bridged the track with my wire wheel. It's not great. I'm not quite sure why it's stopping here. I think it might need a track rub, to be honest with you. Can't see anything obvious. But yeah, one of the points when I was, because obviously I ballasted my track and then stupidly decided that yes, I want point motors. So I ended up having to get a little router bit in my rotary tool from underneath, and I had to drill out all of the wood from underneath. So I've got really thick baseboards. I've got 18mm baseboards.
Wow.
Because I didn't think I wanted point motors, but then when I got ballasted and all the track laid, I'm like, yeah, I'm not running to the end of the loft every 2 seconds to change a
They're
point.
also
So
point
I
motors.
basically had to.
Sorry, you go ahead.
I had to drill underneath and get a little tiny router bit in my thing and basically hog out all the material for the point motors. And when I was doing that, obviously because the point motors were laid, I had the risk of damaging like the tie bar that moves them across. And out of 20 point motors, I'm actually quite impressed to say that the only one that failed, if I change my camera like so, the only one that I failed to avoid was on this one over here. So that one is damaged, which means I can't actually run trains from the 4th to the 3rd. So probably sometime before or after Christmas, around that time, I'm going to just pull up this point, get the ballaster out from around this point, take it out, put a new one in, reballast, blend it all in, and then that should be all fixed for after Christmas. But out of 20 points and to be honest, rather dodgy point motor laying tactics, I stupidly decided I wanted them after I ballasted. I am quite impressed to say I only managed to damage one.
Well, the problem with point motors is one of those things, at least for me, where you see them on other people's channels and you convince yourself that you don't want them or you don't need them. Then you go somewhere and you see them in person, and then as soon as you see them in person, you're saying, yeah, I need them, I'm going to get them. And then you have to rewrite everything.
Yeah, that's what happened with me. I just basically thought, oh no, they're really expensive. But then realised I needed them, actually did the research and found out that I can get all the signals, all the point motors, all the switches, all the wiring done for about £110. So I thought, for the sake of being annoyed with running to the other end of the loft all the time, I can literally just, I can just stop being so Yorkshire and cheap for once, spend £100, and then my life running the trains is going to be a lot easier for, well, the rest of the time, basically.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes you need to come a bit sorry. Right, that's one.
Jaden, can you just put my camera on full screen again? I just need to reposition it because I moved. In fact, don't. Oh, well, actually, I'll just quickly show you my point motor panel, and then I'll put my camera back where it should be. This is my point motor panel. So main power switch, so that's on, and then all the different labeled switches, apart from this one at the end, which is for, if I can get you in, that signal over there, because I wanted the station starter signal for the middle line, the 3rd radius line, but there's no points to wire it into, so I just added the switch for that one. But all the others are point motors, and quite a lot of them link into signals. If you look at those points over there, when the points change to go into the sawmill, great demonstration. Some of them do need some adjustment, but basically when I flick the switch, what should happen is that the signals should change to be the other way around. But some of them are dodgy, I do admit, and need looking at. But the idea is I change the points and the signals change.
Unless
As
the person forgets to change them. If that
I do that all the time.
You know
As
what?
luck would have it, the one I wanted to test and show you it on is dodgy. So,
you know what though? Your whole setup for all your point motors and your switches is way more organised than mine is. I'll show you mine once I've got this down.
Gonna have to climb underneath the baseboards and mess with that point until it. I reckon some of the contacts might be dirty. Again, nothing's been run on this layout for ages, so some of the contacts do need adjusting. But yeah, Jaden, can you just put my camera on full screen for a second, just so I can realign it? Oh, it was already perfect. That's all right, thank you. I just had to guess where it was, and it was fine.
All right, yeah. Right, Shall I attempt this whole double header longest train you can make thing?
Yeah, go on. Slap all your 66s together, it'll be quite fun.
Alright, I'll give it a shot. Right, yeah, there's one of them there. How do I... I'm just going to pick them up and move them. Right, actually, quickly before you do that, on the topic of point motors, would you like to see my setup? Bear in mind...
Oh yeah, go on.
Bear in mind, not all the points on my, what's it called, my railway are motorised, only the backboard is, where the main set of them are. Oh,
Well, that's what I originally... When I first started thinking, oh, I might have point motors, I thought, do I just put them where I can't reach them? And I thought, nah, sod it, I'm gonna motorise all of them, even the ones that I can literally breathe on and change. I thought, nah, if I'm gonna put point motors in, I'm doing all of them. So that's exactly what I did.
Right, well, this one hasn't got enough cables, so I'm putting this back. I'll get the big camera out and I'll put that in. And then I'll show you. I'll get around to it. Just give me a minute. It's just some terrible camera work.
If anyone's interested, I use Gagemaster CPM1 point motors with the inbuilt accessory switch. So you can basically wire the point motors to a switch, provide a power source to the signals, and then I can wire the signals into the point motor in such a way that when the point motor is flicked one way, it shows, for example, green, and when it's flicked the other way, the same signal shows red, rather than messing about with relays and stuff.
If anyone's wondering, I have no clue what I'm using. I'm just using ones that buzz. Right, I've taken a picture on my phone because the camera won't reach. Now I'm going to attempt to put this in front of the camera and show you, which is probably going to go horribly wrong, but we'll give it a try. Right. I'm hoping you can all see that. That's just a quick
you use the... Oh, yeah. I think you're using... They're the point motor switches. I think they're Hornby passing contact switches. They are actual like levers, whereas mine are just, well, switches.
Yeah, they're little levers. You push them up and down. Like it's basically, think of it as points in a signal box, just shrunk down to a very small scale. That's effectively what they are.
Those are passing contact switches. Well, passing contact Hornby point levers. So if you provide a point motor a constant power source, it is just basically a coil of wire, basically shorting across whatever power supply you put to it. So that's why you have to provide a momentary pulse of power, otherwise you do just burn them out.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna attempt. You know what? Shall I go all in and put all 4 of my 66s together in one big train?
Yeah, go on.
Alright, hang on. One of them's still stuck in the tunnel, so I'm gonna have to reverse that out.
I should also say as well, I haven't got the passing contact levers like Jaden has. I have momentary switches, so they're basically springy switches. So
they're very cool.
If I push one and let go of it, it basically springs back to the off position because you only need a very brief pulse of power to throw a point motor, and then you just leave it disconnected after that because they are sprung are the Pico and Hornby points. Basically, all points are.
I tell you what, though, your switches are very, very satisfying.
Yeah, I'll move the mic and see if you can hear them. They don't buzz, as I said earlier, because I'm not running on AC. But I'm just gonna see if you can hear the points actually change. One moment, please. Find the right switch. Coal plus water / siding. So here we go. I don't know if you heard that.
I heard that. I definitely heard that. That was nice.
That was the actual point, and these is what the switches sound like. Yeah. So they are quite nice.
That does sound like a nice tick. Right,
cheap as well.
I'm not gonna put much. I know. I'll just go all out. Why not? Right. First 66 has gone on. Another 3 to go. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
I do keep forgetting to read the comments. I do apologise. Al has said the smaller retails are better. I've been going to one for nearly 20 years. Wow.
Wow,
you're his favourite customer.
That's dedication, that is.
Andrew has just said he's just subscribed to me. So thank you very much indeed, Andrew. Much appreciated.
20 years, that's some dedication. I mean, fair enough.
That's longer than I've been alive, if you didn't guess that already.
Same.
Mind you, Everybody does call me the old man, so then again, you might not have noticed.
Yeah. Right, that's 2 of them together. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
I do need another 66 while we're on the topic of 4 of them, to be
I was
honest.
going to say, do you even have one? You sold your EWS, didn't you?
No, Kurt's from the model shed. He's got it now.
Right. Yeah, so you don't have yours anymore, do you?
No, I got rid of it because, well, I fancied a slightly more detailed one, to be honest with you, and the sort of the split pickup design doesn't really work all that great over my points. Because my points are basically in one controller. So the 4th radius is one controller, 3rd radius is another controller, 2nd radius is another, and then each of the 3 sidings are also on another controller.
Was yours a Backman, I think?
Lima.
Right. Oh, mine all Hornby.
Bought that from my local model shop as well. And I do still have. That actually came in a pack that the bloke at the model shop put together for me. That 66 actually came with the 3 Hornby container wagons. So these, that 66 actually came with them.
I'm going to be honest. I don't have experience with any 66s that aren't Hornbys, so I can't comment on that.
The Lima one was quite good, actually.
I was going to say, your Lima EWS one did seem quite nice, to be fair.
It pulled for days as well.
Oh, yeah, I remember you pulled massive loads of that.
Yeah, Golden Eagle and the 66 went in a head-to-head at one point. And,
oh, yeah,
well, they're both... Yeah. They're both... Oh, dear.
What have you done now?
Well, if you just saw all the signals flickering on my layouts, that's because somewhere there is a dead short across the tracks. Whether Golden Eagle's about to go thermonuclear or not, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's something short in the tracks here. Oh, I know what'll have happened. I'll have put one of the wheels in the wrong way around. Because I dismantled this tender for you earlier, because I'm swapping the German engine out for Golden Eagle. And right. I bet you I've put one of the wheels in the wrong way around. Yes, I have, and then therefore it's shorting.
Do you want to see my abomination of a train?
Yes.
Right. Oh, hang on. Is this the right camera? Yeah, it's set on the right camera. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got EWS, Colas Rail, Freightliner, GBRF. All of them together.
Can I just ask, do you know them like log wagons? I can't remember what the actual official name for them, but you know them wagons with like the sticky up spokes on them? Where did you get them from? Because obviously I've got a saw. Can you show me them just to make sure that right one?
Yeah, let me switch the. Hang on. These ones.
Yes, them. Where did you get them from? Because I need some of them. Because obviously I've got a sawmill, or there will be a sawmill at the back of my layout, so I'm going to need quite a few of them.
I mean, if you want ones for logs, I wouldn't. If you want ones for logs, I would say these aren't your thing. These are rails. But
I know it's the same type of wagon though, because I'm going to hopefully make some like logs out of matchsticks. I'm planning to, or actual just use sticks to be honest. But I do need some at some point.
I think I've got the box. Yeah, I got the boxes for them here. They're just Lima.
Oh, the Lima ones. Oh, that's quite good.
If you want to see the box,
Lima, to be honest.
That's the box.
Oh yeah, I'll have a look out for some of them then. Because as I say, at the back of my layouts, I do have a sawmill, so there will be a sawmill building there, and obviously I'm going to need logs. So I'll keep my eye out for them. They look really good.
If they make them anymore, I have no clue because these are from like 1983 or something. They're all my granddad's.
I don't think. Well, Lima in the sense of old Lima, I don't think is still going.
I'm sure
I think has been absorbed into the Hornby brand now. But like the Lima that made, the 55s, the 33s, the 47s, the 08s, the pannier tanks. In that sense of Lima, they aren't still a thing anymore. But they have just been absorbed into part of the Hornby brand now.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll be able to find some sort of modern equivalent somewhere.
Yeah, I'll I'll have a look on. I might have a look on eBay and see what I can get, whether it be Lima or something else.
Yeah, give eBay a search. Oh, the
I don't
66
think
is
they
moving.
open the rails.
Oh, it's working.
They're
Oh,
not,
this is the craziest thing I think I've ever done.
they shouldn't really be fighting each other that much either. They do look to
No,
be
they're
running
not.
quite smoothly. Yeah. I think the EWS followed by the GBRF is my favourite out of those two.
I mean, to be fair, I do like that GBR. I mean, if I had to order them, the EWS was the first one I got, and it is my favourite 66. If I know that sounds a bit silly, doesn't it, saying that I have a favourite 66? But the EWS one, that one there, 66079, that's my first one I got. I think that's my favourite, followed by the Freightliner, which is then followed by, I don't know, maybe GRBRF, then Colas Rail. I love them all equally, near enough. But I don't know. Actually, that's a tough one. I'll give that a think.
Northern Transport Hub has been at the East Lancashire Railway. 8F bashing, very nice.
Very nice.
Andrew says, do you like haggis? Jaden. Al, very helpful comment there. Thank you so much for that. I will definitely bear that in mind. Drinking straws make good logs painted brown. Thank you very much for that, Al. I'll keep that in mind.
That is
can I understand Scottish? Well, I know that haggis is entrails and organs of animals. Depends how Scottish you're talking.
My endless free advertising of Iron Brew on our last stream yesterday.
I'm going to say I'm not exactly. Well, it depends how Scottish you're talking about, but. I must say, to my surprise, Golden Eagle is managing 8 coaches, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, he's managing 8 coaches.
Well, I forgot to say, a haggis. I don't know. I've never tried it, to be perfectly honest. I've seen it, but I never tried it because it wasn't mine. It was someone else's on their plate at a restaurant. I got toad in the hole, and they got haggis. But no, I haven't tried it. But I mean, it sounds alright. I mean, most people say the haggis looks disgusting, and that's why they don't want to eat it. I mean, personally, I don't really get bothered by the way food looks, because I know the looks don't typically correlate to how it tastes. So the looks of food isn't something that typically bothers me. I just haven't really had the opportunity to try it personally. But if I ever get the chance, I'll give it a try. Have you tried it, George?
No, I'm by no means a picky eater at all. But when it comes to internal organs of animals, I don't go down that road. I don't go down the road of seafood either. Yeah, I can have fish fingers and fish and chips and stuff like that, an odd piece of, cod every now and then. But I can't. I'm not a seafood bloke.
You've never had a prawn cocktail sandwich?
No.
Oh, that's a good.
I like prawn cocktail crisps and I like prawn crackers, but no seafood. I don't go down the route. I don't.
You know what?
Though?
Crisp sandwich. That's good. Right. Do you like crisp sandwiches?
Yes.
Right. What's the best flavor? Like the best flavor crisp to put in a crisp sandwich? Because
oregano.
I say cheese. I mean, I'm not picky, but I quite like cheese and onion. The Walker's cheese and onion ones in a crisp sandwich. But my friend, he always has a go at me and says the prawn cocktail ones are the best ones to put in.
Oregano, definitely, which I think you can only get like Lay's equivalent of Walker's abroad. Lay's oregano crisps, or in fact any oregano crisps that you can get abroad. When we go to Greece, that's basically all we have with us lunch for 2 weeks. Oregano crisps inside buttered bread. Not just bread, buttered bread. Oregano crisps inside of buttered bread as a sandwich. That's absolutely brilliant.
You know what I do?
Come close as well.
For sandwiches, especially crisp sandwiches, I do something that really angers a lot of people. I butter one of the. You know when you get a slice of bread and you slice it in half, so it effectively becomes, I guess, 2 slices, but really it's just 2 halves. I butter one of them, and I leave the other one unbuttered, and then I make my sandwich.
No, you see, when James May does his food cooking videos on What Next, formerly called Food Tribe. He always says you only butter one side of the sandwich, but
yeah, I agree with
if you ask me, you've got to have both buttered. If you're going to butter one, you might as well do both. I don't understand that logic, to be honest.
Well, me and James will be miles ahead of you when the butter crisis hits. Because
Well, fortunately, we don't spend £10 a pack on Lurpak, so we'll be all right for a
I don't use
while.
Lurpak. Personally, we in our household use Anchor, not Lurpak.
I think we use Lidl's Lurpak, actually.
Yeah. Lurpak, I know James raves about it. You know, Lurpak spreadable butter, 1901, and all of that. But like, I personally, I don't think Lurpak's actually that great. Really, it's not. I'm sure there's a lot of people who love it, but personally, it just seems a bit. It doesn't have much taste. It's just too creamy. It's just not.
I haven't had it for years. I honestly can't remember. It's just butter, if you ask me, to be honest.
Yeah, it is just butter, but there is something about when you find a good butter. I know I sound like a strange person, but yeah, I like sandwiches. I eat a lot of sandwiches, so the butter does make a difference sometimes. Anyway, we should probably stop waffling about sandwiches. I've scared him off now. He's gone.
Oh no, I'm still here.
I've had a derailment.
Just slightly dying inside, but
I don't blame you. Yeah, but I think you've watched the Food Tribe and all of that? I mean, I'm assuming you have because you mentioned it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it he did? He did was it a pot
noodle sandwich? Yeah, it was.
I might try that. You know. I mean, I don't know. It's something you might as well try it, right? Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to be a bit sick.
All right, that's all right then.
Yeah, like if you get cholera, then
dearie me.
Yeah, just get better.
I have come to the conclusion that on this section of track, the 4th radius line over here, I think there is a dodgy fish plate or a bad joint because when the train comes round the corner, up until about here, it runs it slows down noticeably. Then as soon as the train, the loco passes here, it seems to speed up. So somewhere between here and the end of the curve, I think there is a dodgy fish plate. And that point is dirty as well, which couldn't help. But there is a dodgy fish plate somewhere along here that needs a look at.
You know the little plastic things you put on the side or whatever? They look like the little blocks that go on the side and they give the tracks power. Have you got two of them too far apart? Because sometimes if you have a one and they're too far apart, there's a little dead patch in the middle.
No, I've soldered the wires from underneath.
Oh right.
So I've actually got when I was laying the track, I got a piece of track and soldered the wires through it. And then I'm not sure if any of them are visible. I think I've hidden them quite well. But basically hidden under the ballast is like a little solder connection onto the rail, and then I drilled some holes through, and then they go underneath the baseboard. But I have a power input for each track on this side, and then I have a power input for each track on the station side as well, because I used to just have one on the station side, but then when they got round to the mainline side, it used to obviously slow down. But since I've put a power input on my station side and on the mainline side, there isn't any power problems. It's just that this point is a little bit dirty around here, which is why it keeps slowing down.
Right.
Tim the Valley has joined.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Right, George, I've had a little bit of a mishap with the 66s if you want to just watch them go past. So there's two of them.
Where are the other two?
You'll find out. There's the other two.
Oh dear.
So now I've kind of got a little race going on. It's a bit like...
I've managed to decouple, to be honest. Same coupling type, aren't they? NEMs, so...
Yeah, all my locomotives are NEMs. I mean... I guess we've got a little bit of a NASCAR race going on now. I'm going to attempt to bring them down into the station. Oh dear. If you look at the bottom of the screen, now the Merchant Navy's moving with them. Oh
dear.
I don't know how to solve this one.
I will just say, while Jaden solves that little dilemma, if anybody's got any requests, then do let me know. I'll just quickly run through what I've got. Obviously, what's on the layout now is obviously on the layout. You can see that. Other than that, I've got 304 rows, so a pug, like a triangle type thing. A 101. I've got the big German engine that was on earlier. Tornado. LNER Flying Scotsman. I've got 3708, a Virgin HST, and a Class 31. And in terms of rolling stock, other than what's on the layout, I've got 3 container wagons and a couple of other assorted wagons as well. So you can pick any combination of them if you'd like to see something running on the layout, and I will happily put them on for you. If nobody wants to do one, that's fine. But if nobody wants to do one, that's fine. But I shall stick something new on the layout in a couple of minutes.
That's impressive, Timber Valley. You're building a fire station. That's impressive, that. Oh, but you've used the wrong brick bond. Oh, well. Oh, dear.
I'd be terrible at scratch building.
Yeah, but he's gone for it. He's building a fire station. He's building a fire station. How much are the council paying you for that one?
Nothing, probably.
Yeah. Before anyone gets angry, I'm aware it's a joke. Yes, I don't think he's building a real fire station. He might be, actually. I mean, you never know.
I mean, I'm sure he'd be more capable of building a fire station from scratch than I will be. I'm terrible at building things. Well, anything that's not made of wood.
Well,
I can do electronics and wood. That's about it.
It's not really that hard. You get one brick, you get some Pritt stick, and you get another brick, and you just continue that process.
Is your house built out of bricks and Pritt stick? I'm surprised it hasn't fallen down yet.
Well, we don't live in a typically windy area, so. Well, no, I mean, if you use a suitable amount of Pritt stick, it's alright.
I think you'll need mortar.
Well, I beg to differ with that. I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, people go and complain about how they're spending so much money on mortar and how the prices of mortar are so expensive, and you know, all of this and that, and buildings and builders and all that. Just go down to the local shop. You get a Pritt stick for what, 99p, £1.5 or something like that. You just dab a bit on that on, stick the brick on top, let it dry. It's basically the same.
Oh dear me.
Honestly, money saving tips right here. You should listen. Money saving, get you a long way. Don't spend money on mortar. Just use a Pritt stick. You'll have saved so much money you won't believe it. You'll save so much that you can rebuild your house multiple times.
I'm dropping stuff all over the floor. Anfield has said, I like scratch building things for the layout. Well, I'm sure I'm going to need to at some point, but if I can buy kits cheap enough, I can build kits, and I'm sure I could modify a kit. For the sawmill at the back of the station, I am going to have to adopt a kit for that, and especially because I actually want to make it so it has a working spinning blade. I could build kits, I'm pretty sure. I think I did a few airfixes as a much younger version of myself, but yeah, I couldn't scratch build things. I'd rather adapt a kit. If I have to, if there's not something I want, I'm obviously going to have to, but if a kit's cheap enough, I will just try and use that or adapt it or something like that.
You know what? I do love a good bit of airfix. That's a good shout there.
I have a Spitfire in one of these drawers up here. I'm not sure why. That could be. Do you know what? I could do that as a stream. Scratch building an airfix. That's not actually a bad shout, that. Where is it, actually? It's in one of my drawers somewhere.
I've done an airfix, you know the Jaguar E-Type? If you're into cars. Yeah. I've done an airfix Jaguar E-Type years ago. I've still got that. But I've got an airfix, what's it? You know the red arrows, what do they use? They use a Hawker, don't they?
Yes. Is it the Hawk? Is it the Hawk T1?
Yeah, I believe so. It's a training aircraft, isn't it? It's a Hawk T1 or something like
that. Red arrows. Plane.
I mean, it's obviously not like a Eurofighter or an F-16 or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's just like a Hawk T1.
Oh, Hawk T1A, modified Hawk T1, so we were basically spot on.
There you go. But I've got one of those, an Airfix one, and it's been in the process of being built for probably about 11 years now.
Oh.
I mean,
well,
I guess that is kind of realism, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't realise I'd opened this box. I think I took it somewhere on a long holiday and meant to build it, but never did. But do you know what? Although I'd be terrible, absolutely terrible at painting it, I think at some point, one weekend, when I've got a few hours, I might do a stream of building this Airfix, because I think that would be, well, I think it'd be interesting for you lot to watch me fail hideously, if I'm going to be quite frankly honest. In fact, I'm not sure where the paints and the paintbrush for it have gone, actually. Oh, yeah, I do. They're in here. Yeah, I found the paints. I just need to find the paintbrush, which is long gone missing. But, you know, I think I might actually build that in a stream, because I think that'd be quite fun to do.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'll happily spend my evening laughing at you.
I just need to find a thin paintbrush, because I think I used that other one ages ago and got rid of it. Timber Valley's getting destructive. He's ripped the plastic card off that side. Now got to do it in the right brick bond. Good luck.
Oh. What kit is it that you're building anyway, Timber Valley? Is it an Airfix or something like that, or whatever? I mean, I know about Airfixes. I don't know about many other sort of kits, whatever they're called. You know, is it like
I think he said earlier he's scratch building.
Oh, right. Like my
scratch building a fire station.
From scratch. Oh wow. Fair enough. Right, I've put the 66s away. What have I got to do now? Got to reverse that down there. Come on. Nope,
Right, I think, because we haven't had this on the layout for a long time, I'm just going to stop these two trains for now. I think I'm going to put the Virgin HST on.
He's right. It's from scratch.
Oops, things are falling off the rails. Oh dear.
How many leftover nails and like scrap paper and Pritt stick have you used on that, Timber Valley?
Just ignore the fact that my coach body's just dropped off.
If we had a mishap counter, it would be so high up.
It wouldn't be 52 though.
No, not that far yet.
Not quite.
There's a chance.
How long have we been going for? An hour? There's chance. Yeah, there'd have been chance if we were, if we had a counter.
Gosh,
I ought to have got my little tablet up and put it on behind this camera so you could see, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Golden Eagle's going to need a service because that motor was quite warm then.
What happened there?
Maybe because it has been pulling 8 coaches, but I think it might need a service. In fact, all of my engines probably need a service, to be quite frankly honest with you.
Ooh.
Right, here goes the Virgin HST. I do have 5 Virgin coaches, but because one of them is a brake coach, obviously I can't couple to that unless I do go and buy the correct, I think the Dapol type couplings. They are very weird. The Hornby coaches, but the couplings are really strange. I don't think they're standard Hornby ones. So if I buy a proper coupling for the brake coach, I would be able to run a 6-car HST.
What are those ones?
Now we've just got a 5-car.
What are those ones that Sam Trains used for his video? You know when he made the real life NEM couplings, and he like coupled him and his girlfriend or whatever together. He was also talking about another type of coupling that's used, like a far more realistic one. I'm trying to remember what they're called now. He said about
coupling?
Yeah, I think that was it.
There's some of them fitted to the D11, which is just going to come round now, actually.
Oh, right. I was going to say, because like everyone talks about them, I've never seen them. Like, I've never seen them.
To see. You can't really see. Can I get the torch on my phone? In fact, I'll turn that side in off before everything breaks. But I've fitted them, but I've posed them out of the way because otherwise they drop into the NEM coupling and then the front bogie can't rotate and then it derails. But I don't know if you can see just there. You probably can't really see it. Just there where my finger is There's a 3-link there, and then there's a 3-link on the back as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Very rarely. I think O gauge they are actually functional, but I think very very rarely in double O can you actually.
Well, O gauge.
Whoops,
O
that's
gauge.
the wrong controller. Get them to work.
On the top, if you want to rewind the conversation about 55 minutes, I've got the Merchant Navy in my hand now because I'm just moving it off the tracks. Would anyone care to see it? I don't know.
I think my HST needs some grease on its gears. It seems quite noisy. It's another Ringfield motor in there. Again, it's slowing down when it gets to the other side of the layout, so I definitely think that we need to have a look at the fish plates and that point. I need to locate my track leader really, but I can't really do that in the middle of the stream.
Hey George, you know we're talking about the Merchant Navy. I've just realised I think DCC. Actually,
what?
I think it's. I think look, I just took off the track here. Hang on, I'll go to full screen for a sec. But look, this is it here. I was just looking, and if you look at the underside, I don't know how clear that is. Can you see there's a little cable, like a little wire going from the tender to the locomotive body?
Yeah.
I think it's DCC.
It'll be DCC ready, but probably not DCC fitted. My 9F coupling looks exactly like that. So it's to carry. Well, it's to connect the tender pickups to the motor, and then I think 2 of the wires are for DCC as well. So it'll have a socket in the tender like my 9F does, because my 9F uses the exact sort of coupling like that, and connected like block. But it'll be DCC ready with a socket in the tender, not DCC fitted. Although you never know.
I think you're right. Actually, I think that's what it is. Right, I'm going to
Seeing as the 37 didn't get much of a run later, it is now getting a run.
Where'd you get
that? Out the D11.
Where'd you get that 37? Because I want one. Was it the Hornby Railroad one?
It was the Hornby Railroad. Hornby Railroad one directly from Hornby. I could have got it through Hattons, but to be honest, as I said when I made the review of the 37, we all know that Hornby's been a little bit naughty and cancelling. Recently been cancelling quite a lot of retailer pre-orders, so I didn't want me to pre-order it from a retailer and then Hornby cancel it and then me not be able to buy it from Hornby because they might have all gone out of stock. So I just pre-ordered it from Hornby because you get free delivery from Hornby when you spend over £50, and the delivery cost from Hattons was about £4 or £5. So by the time you'd added the £4, £5 Hattons delivery cost to I think Hattons were selling them for £87. It didn't really make that much sense to spend, £2 or £3 less from Hattons, but then there might have been a slight risk of it actually not getting there, as I've just said. So it was directly from Hornby. I'll have a look on the website now, and I will post a link for you if you like.
Yeah, well, I was going to say because I love the 37s.
It is really nice, and the reason why I bought it from Hornby is because, well, I saw it got announced in 2022, and within half an hour I'd pre-ordered it because to get, as I said in the review, a VR large logo blue with the yellow cab ends and the black window surrounds, you're looking at £200, £250 to get one from Hattons, from Helgian or Bachmann. So that's why I got the Hornby one.
To be fair, the Bachmann ones, I think they've gone up in price, haven't they?
They've gone up in price and probably, well, they are very detailed. The mechanisms I understand are good, but obviously, whether it's the world's best model in existence, I cannot afford to spend £250 on it. So that's why I went for the £97 one from Hornby.
Yeah. Was it Accurascale, are they called, who were working on, was it a 37?
Accurascale 37, yeah, I think that's been released.
That was going to be like
as well. And
that's supposed to be ridiculously detailed, isn't it?
I think I think it's really good mechanism, really detailed, good quality. I think that's about £170, but again, it's still too expensive for me. My upper limit for spending on trains is about £110, which is what I spent on the 9F. So any more than that, I am very, very reluctant indeed to go any more expensive than that because I just don't want to spend that much, to be honest. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I think it was something one of that. I found one. It was absolutely incredible, and then I found out you can only get them in N-gauge, which was a bit annoying. I thought I got an absolute bargain of a really great model, and then I realised why it was so cheap. It was because it's an N-gauge, N-scale, whatever you want to call it. That is something that, because you know Hattons, so many of their things now are just O-gauge. They sell so much O-gauge,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just. Oh, hang on. No. Oh no! This is.
Oh, dearie me, that's not good.
What have you done?
Flying Scotsman was smoking, and I'm not even joking, actually smoking. And it now stinks.
Is it on fire?
No, it just smoked and didn't move.
That's not funny.
It is a very old model. I'll see if I'm just going to try it again briefly.
I mean,
Oh
to be
no,
fair,
it's
it's
working now.
for a long time.
Oh, arcing. No, it's arcing and smoking. It was working yesterday and now it's died. Might open that up actually. I wonder if again the motor needs servicing because as I sound like a broken record now.
Drill some holes in it. It'll give it some ventilation.
I'm drilling holes in James May's Flying Scotsman with realistic chuffing sound.
It'll give it ventilation and cool it down. I've got one of them too somewhere, but I can't actually find it. I think it's in one of my cases of other.
You know, I was only talking to Timber Valley the other day about me being in a loft and when electronics let the magic smoke out, it stinks. And guess what? It now absolutely reeks up here. It smells like, well, failed electronics, to be honest. What's up with it?
It's like you.
Oh, yeah.
It's that significant smell of old motor burnout, isn't it?
Yeah. Good news.
I've smelled that smell too many times.
Good news. The motor itself isn't. The motor windings are not hot. If it was a problem with the windings, then they'd be really hot. And I'm holding my fingers on them now and they're stone cold. So I think it was just crud from the commutator, which, as I said, needs all of my locos probably need servicing because they haven't been serviced in a while and they haven't been running a while. So I'm just going to try run it by itself now, and hopefully we might be able to see what the problem is. It was running yesterday for quite a long time though, so it's yeah, I don't know if you can see this. Look, it's arcing a little bit, and there's the smoke. But as I say, I'm putting my fingers on it now, and the windings are not hot at all. They're absolutely stone cold. I think it is just yesterday because it was running for probably about an hour straight. I think it probably just needed a service, and then running it yesterday probably didn't help it. So you can see there, it's just the commutators arcing and smoking. That's just muck from the commutator. It's not the windings. They're not getting hot. So thankfully, I think the commutator just needs a little bit of a clean. But I'm not going to do that for much longer because I don't want to knacker it. So I did get a little bit worried then, but I think we are okay. So let's find a replacement engine for these coaches.
I'm trying to get Guildhall up and running, but the tender is the most stupid coupling mechanism ever. And it takes.
I'm going to put the 08 on again.
Have you got a GWR 460 like a Hall class or a Caster class or something?
Me? No.
Yeah. Okay, well, some note is a word of advice for them. Don't get one. Just don't get
Why?
one. Because they come with the most stupid tender coupling mechanisms ever. And it takes you about 3 hours to get the tender on. Mine's a Bachmann one, so if you're going to get one, just don't get a Bachmann one. You've got to it comes with a little metal rod with a hole on the end, and you've got to put it through a tiny little hole in the front of the tender, and then over a little stud sort of thing, and then hook it on it, and then keep it in whilst you move it. It's so annoying. I'll send you.
Great.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and describe one because it will then consist of me getting angry and then destroying something and not making a good stream. So I'm not going to do it now, but you can probably look it up and find a good enough explanation of how stupid they are. I mean, they work.
I'm sure RM Web will have plenty of people moaning.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone else owns a Backman Hall class, then I feel bad for you. Because
I'll just catch up on the comments. Tinder Valley asked what the Flying Scotsman was smoking. It was smoking carbon build-up. Evan Terry says, "Oi, bruv, you want a joint?" Oh my god. I didn't know trains could be drug addicts. Anfield has said, "You need to give your locos a good clean." Certainly, yes, I do. That's going on the list of many jobs that need doing on high bookends. Yeah. Thankfully, it is just a commutator though, so it's not anything to be worried about. The windings aren't dying, so that's a bonus. I might send the 08 round the runaround loop, although that did cause literally everything that went round it yesterday to derail. So we'll see how that gets on.
Right, I can't remember how strong my little hall class is, but I'm giving it 4 coaches, which is probably what the average of what most people give their locomotive, so I'm assuming it'll be alright.
The HST just seems to have quietened down now, which is good.
It's probably warmed up. The motor's probably warmed up and moving and lubricating and everything.
Yeah.
Right,
I will take everything, apart from the 9F, because there's nothing wrong with that, and the 37, which is new, and I don't want to dismantle that, because it doesn't need servicing. I probably will take everything to bits and give it another service.
Right, here's a quick question for George and the chat. Should I put the legendary brake van on the end of my little... I guess the actual word for it is a train, isn't it? That's what they call the coaches, a train. Should I put the brake van on the end of my train consisting of some Southerns, some Teaks and some Mark 1s, hauled by a hall class?
What brake van is it?
A brown one.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very accurate description. I'll show you on camera if you wish. It's a very old one. This little guy.
I'll probably recognise it when I see it. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
Is it Southern Railway?
Do they call it a towed brake van, I think?
I think so. Is it Southern Railway? I think it's Southern Railway or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Great Western Railway towed.
Oh, there you are, Great Western Railway.
That's what they call it.
Well, that's
yeah, I thought it was.
That's not a GWR locomotive.
Yeah, you can put that on if you like. Oh, what I was going to do is look for that Hornby Class 37 for you, which I shall do now.
Actually, that just reminds me, I need to look for that Merchant Navy for you. So I will do that in a second as well.
Oh, actually, you might be able to get it for 87 quid. Oh, no. On Amazon, it's on for £87, but you have to pay £6 delivery. So you might as well just get that from Hattons. I'll paste you the link for Hornby, and I'll paste you the link for Hattons.
Cheers.
And you can obviously... Hornby have done hobby points now. And because I had collected... You do get quite a lot, and I did have my eye when I was pre-ordering 37 from Hornby. That was part of the reason why, because they have hobby points. I do have my eyes on a couple of other things from Hornby, so I thought, well, if I actually pay a couple of pounds more on Hornby rather than from Hattons, I get hobby points, and then I'm going to get a little bit of money off the next thing I do from Hornby. So that's that's also part of the reason why I went for Hornby.
Come on.
Rather
Since when
than
did they do that?
Ages.
I wasn't made aware of... I did not know about this. I think I should have some then.
3 in stock from Hattons. Oh, I can't post it in the chat. I have to connect my Google account.
Oh, no. Don't tell me this. Oh, bugger. Oh, come on. Oh, never mind. I thought we lost the train in the tunnel, but never mind.
So here is the Hornby link for the 37, Jaden. I know you said you were considering looking at it earlier. And there's the Hattons one. That might not go through. It depends if you've allowed links in your comments.
I believe
if that's gone through, then they're there.
Come on. Oh, dear.
The runaround loop's behaving for the 08, so that's a bonus.
Oh, come on. Please. The other issue is that this little hall class, it's wheel spinning quite a bit. I don't know if it has the might to pull. Oh, never mind, it's off.
Oh, there we go. I am glad they added that runaround loop on the second radius siding. I think the second radius siding on the second radius line even, because well, it's just nice to have 4 platforms at the station. I have got a runaround loop in the coal yard where the engine shed is, and I did debate just leaving one, but thought, well, no, I'll put 2 in. So I am glad I put it in here because it does make this station area just a little bit more interesting. And then the train obviously don't go around in a circle; it does sort of take a turn off as well. So that's why I added it in there. It's behaved for the 08. So yeah.
Come on, keep moving. Yeah. Keep moving, come on.
Anfield Road, Lee has just said just subscribe to your high book. Thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated. Every little helps. Thank you so much.
Let's give this camera a little bit of a readjustment. Come on. You've got another subscriber, George.
Anfield, yeah. I've just thanked him for that. I think, is your layout behaving today, Jaden, or I know you had some trouble yesterday.
Yes.
Mine is actually. I don't think I've had a single derailment. Oh, yes, I have. Sorry, the 37.
It's a model railway day. That's what it is.
I think the 37 disconnected. Oh, no, it wasn't. I think a Pullman derailed earlier, but other than that, I've not had any derailments today that weren't my fault.
Oh. It's a model railway day.
Aye. Lee says he's doing a live stream on Friday at 5 PM, scratch build. If you want, come and see. I think I will, actually. Could do with getting some tips for scratch building. As I said earlier, I'm sure I'm going to have to do it at some point.
Ah, dear. I was about to say my little wall class, it takes quite a while to get warmed up, but when it gets warmed up, it really starts shifting.
My HST is exactly like that. I don't know if you noticed when I first started it off over here. It was on max power, and then it took a couple of seconds, and then it slowly sped up.
Yeah,
But I think it's quite cold in the loft as well, to be honest with you. So I
yeah.
think that's probably helped it to get going as well.
Well, I mean, your HST, you said takes a couple of seconds. Mine probably took what, like 5 laps, I guess. I mean, I guess it depends varying on the motor, I suppose.
The Class 45, the mainline Class 45 called the Manchester Regiment that I bought, repaired, and then sold on. That used to do exactly the same. You know, if it was stored in the loft for any, stored in the loft and got to loft temperature, and then I tried to run it, it'd take a good sort of 3 or 4 minutes before it got to full speed. Because it was simply quite cold up here, and I think I repaired that one in winter. So what I did was to test it wasn't anything wrong with the motor or anything like that. I actually took it downstairs, let it warm up downstairs where it's warmer than in the loft, brought it back upstairs, and then it ran fine straight from the off. So if you are in a cold space, then that could be a problem why some of your trains are a bit lethargic for a few minutes.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's one of the issues with it. The temperature gets to them eventually.
What brand is that Hall class? That looked quite nice then.
Backman.
Batman. Oh yeah, you said earlier about the dodgy connection, didn't you?
I'll stop it in front of the camera. Hang on. I'll let it come around and stop in front of the camera. Yeah, that's the thing. It's beautifully detailed. I must admit, it's a lovely looking loco. It's just that one little design flaw is the connector, but it's got a bit of chuff to it when it gets going. Right, I'm gonna try and do some decent camera work.
Oh, I like that polished steam dome.
Oh yeah, honestly,
nice.
I don't know how they did it, but it's very shiny.
I like the gold on the wheel arches as well. That looks lovely.
And the thing is, it's not that it's how normally when you get models with gold on them, it's like always a bit dull. It doesn't look quite gold enough. It looks like yellow paint. Like whatever they've done with this, I don't know whether they anodized it or like sprayed it or coated it or whatever, but it's really really shiny, and it just doesn't seem to lose its color. So I mean, thumbs up for back. I mean,
Leah said oh, go on, carry on.
I can't quite get the detail in because it's got so much detail, but the camera
you've got a good impression of it there, yeah.
I'll film you a little video and send it to you if you would like.
Yeah, you can do. This is just increasing the amount of money I have to spend on trains now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got a list about 20 locomotives long.
Oh, yeah. The wish list, that's what I call it, a wish list. I mean, I think that's just that's what everyone calls it.
But, Leah said he's got a layout in one loft, 26 feet long. Dearie me, what's that in meters?
I don't know, but that's quite a lot.
8 meters nearly. Wow, that's impressive. The one in the hobby room is 8 feet by 4. Very nice. I started off in my bedroom. Little layout on the carpet. Yes, carpet, whatever. I'm not going to bother explaining about the perils and carpets and that. Then I moved into the spare bedroom. Then I moved back into my bedroom on the floor, and now we've got my own dedicated space in the loft. I don't actually have my tape measure up here. I did used to have a file on my phone saved when anybody asked how big's your layout, but I need to measure that. I need to measure it again, and I think I've lost that file now. But I used to have the dimensions on my phone, but it's my layout. I've got enough to fit on. I've got 3 main running lines, 2 runaround loops, 2 quite large sidings, and 1 sort of smaller one. So it's a nice layout. I like it, and I don't regret having it small. I don't think, I want it smaller or bigger. And the layout I picked for it's nice. So nice little layout, manageable.
Sometimes it's better if it's less complicated. You've got less stuff to deal with. I think that's one of my regrets when I did this layout up. Because you remember my old layout, it had the pink baseboards and a few tracks going around the table. I think it was 4 loop lines I had. And obviously I did that little mini series of doing up to what it is now. And it's cool. I love it, and it looks just well. I mean, if I don't want to seem like I'm showing off, but sometimes I just come here and you just sit and look at it, and
Yeah.
it's. I must say, I do. I commend my granddad, especially, and my dad. It's a phenomenal layout. But I think one of my main regrets and when I was helping them design it is we made it a bit too complicated. Like there's just too much stuff that can go wrong, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
we've got like four sets of I guess just crossroads technically. When you've got the two tracks that make like an X,
Yeah.
or we've got eight sets of those. Four on the left, four on the right. We've got two main lines that are like raised up on their own separate level with an extra bridge line that you can see in the camera shot with the bridge over the viaduct sort of thing. Then there's like a whole shunting yard with a separate controller that goes. It's a shunting yard that goes like all the way around like a 180 sort of horseshoe shape around the back of the layout where my controllers are. And you've got that whole separate thing up there, which is like a whole like mishmash of so many points. And there's like 10 points there. They were all electric, and there's just all different tracks crossing over, going up, over, under, and stuff like that to get them all onto the different lines. And it's just a bit, And then I've got the lines coming around in front of my laptop with the engine sheds and the bridge and the station and the roads going across it, and the little, the railway crossing gates and stuff. It's cool. It just goes too complicated eventually, and I kind of just sit here and think, okay, how do I work it? Or like, there's just too much stuff that can go wrong. And like most of the time, it's all linked together so that I can literally have any engine parked anywhere and use just the controllers and points to get it onto any line on the layout. But half the time, I don't even do that. I just pick them up and move them. So I
Yeah,
think
I can do that. I can do that as well, but it's slightly convoluted method. And
yeah,
when I can use it, it's nice to have. But other times, I just pick them up and move them.
yeah, that's the thing though. Like you said, sometimes it's just smaller is better. So it's like
Yeah.
a 26-foot long, 8 foot by 4. That's incredible. What a layout. But sometimes I think I just sit there and go, this is a bit complicated. But maybe that's just me being Banter.
Cinder Valley has said, is any of you heading to Wally? No, I won't be, unfortunately, but I will go at some point. Northern
Oh, just
Transport Hub's back. Welcome back.
hello, Joe.
I think if my layout was any bigger than it was, I think it would be well, I wouldn't be able to cope with the expense, to be honest. The track, the total cost of the track, which I'm not going to tell you, but the total cost of the track was ever so slightly eye-watering when I toppled it all up. So yeah, any bigger, and I don't think I'll be able to afford it, to be honest. So I'm very happy with the size and layout that I've got now. I didn't bother doing like crossovers and so. I mean, I think the most complex thing I have is crossovers between the fourth and the third to second. But I didn't, I didn't even consider building them on different layers. If I'd have had a space like Jaden's, I probably would have done, because Jaden's back wall, as you can see there, is absolutely incredibly detailed. He's got so much going on; it's really wonderful. But I'm gonna over the winter, very soon, I'm going to get some foam, and my foam cutting wire came today. The replacement nichrome wire for my foam cutter came today. So over the winter and over the Christmas and winter period, before I get back into lawnmower repairing in the spring, I am going to get a lot of scenic work done. And I'm going to try and create depth on the railway through scenery rather than the physical locations of the track.
I'm gonna quickly go get a drink, George. I'll be down in a second, all right? I'll be back.
Okay.
And see you in a minute.
Well, folks, it's me and you now. Dearie me. What's going on with my phone here? It's been bigging like no tomorrow. Well, in case you couldn't see earlier, at the end of my finger there, where that building is, that's where the sawmill's going to be. It's the station area, and then this is over on the mainline area when I'm going to have a load of houses. Well, These are going to be like country houses over here, so I'm going to hopefully be able to fit 1 or 2 country houses there. I think what I'm actually going to do is have the garden sort of side on, so I'll have sort of 1 house here with the garden, and then over here I'll have another house here in the garden, and then I'll have like a small road that's like leading up, like an end of a cul-de-sac type thing that's changing to the end of the cul-de-sac that's get pulled at the sort of ends and pulls into the houses, so I can fit the garden sideways. I did intend to have houses like this and gardens here, but there's simply just not enough room, so I'm going to fit them sideways now, and that way I can have some form of road. Over on the station end of things, these are, as you can see, I've got 6 terrace houses, but these are going to be sort of terrace houses along here, just sort of at the side of the railway. The fence needs to go up, of course, but yeah, I'll probably build them to the right at the edge and then just put a fence up here. But scenery and hills and landscaping needs to get done before all of that. The only thing that Timber Valley would change on his layout would be the addition of a runaround loop at the station to like single line working. It's very interesting. Yeah, if you have the right setup for things, you can certainly make a very small track area and a very small, a very small area of track. You can certainly make it very interesting indeed, yeah. If you're wondering why this camera, if you're in my stream over on my channel yesterday, if you're wondering why this camera is so much darker than it was yesterday, it's because this webcam's not exactly all that cracking. I basically have to go into OBS and change the exposure and the brightness of the camera. So sometimes in OBS, I change the brightness of the camera to get the quality and the image of this camera, the brightness and all that to look similar to this camera over here. So yeah, you can't do that in StreamYard, which is what Jaden's using. I used OBS yesterday, so that's why I could do it. But just in case you're wondering why it's a little bit darker, that's why. Alice said, sometimes bigger layouts can be a problem in the summer with the heat and warping of your main boards and tracks, so sometimes smaller is better. Thankfully, well, apart from the problem we had in the loft with condensation 2 years ago, which we've now, fingers crossed, permanently fixed by the adding of extra ventilation into my section of the loft and also vents into the main section of the loft, we have managed to solve the condensation problem. But even though it can get very cold and very hot up here, fortunately, I think I have left enough gaps in the fish plates to allow them to expand, and I thankfully don't really get any warping problems. I have got 18mm thick plywood as well, which generally doesn't warp as much because the layers are glued 90 degrees to each other, in like a 90 degree to each other sandwich, so they don't warp a lot. And I am glad we got 18mm because we were originally going to buy 12, but when we went to the B&Q, they only had 18, and we were looking to buy and get the wood cut for us. So we ended up with 18mm thick plywood, and that doesn't move at all, and everything's dead flat and stays dead flat. So yeah. How are you, George? Says Northern Transport Hub. I'm very well, thank you very much. Well, I think my tea will be ready shortly, so when Jaden comes back, I shall contemplate leaving the stream and saying goodbye. Whether Jaden also chooses to do the same is up to him. Timber Valley has said, anyone know how to decack a soldering iron tip? I've never really messed up a soldering iron tip, to be honest with you. I know you can I wouldn't recommend using sandpaper, and if you do use sandpaper, I'd recommend using something like emery cloth or wet and dry, something very, very fine. But if you can see like a coppery coating, because I think most soldering iron tips are like, I Can't remember which way around it is now. Is it copper coated iron or iron coated copper? I can't quite remember which way round it is. But when the outer coating of the soldering iron tip goes away, it will constantly just pit and corrode, and your solder won't stick to your iron and it won't flow well. So I know you can buy soldering iron tip cleaner, which is like a pot of stuff that you just dip your soldering iron into while it's on, and then you wipe it off on like a brass cleaner like this. Flux may also help, but if you're having to add a load of flux to solder, then your iron tip's capped up. But if you can buy on eBay, I think, something called soldering iron tip cleaner, and that does really work quite well. And also, if you get like a brass cleaner like this, when you're soldering irons on, you can just put some solder on the end of your iron, and that does help remove excess solder and sort of help polish up the tip as well. Just like a brass wire wool that you just jab your soldering iron end into, looks like this one here. Other than that, I'm not too sure, because despite soldering for, well, probably nearly 3-4 years now, I've never actually ruined a soldering iron tip. Not saying it's your fault, I presume I've been quite lucky, but none of my soldering iron tips seem to have gone bad yet. I'll send the 08 round the runaround loop again. It does work quite well. It's just the front bogey of the D11 yesterday kept derailing. In fact, it does it on all corners, really. Every time the D11 goes round the corner, the front bogey ends up like wheeling on 2 wheels. So instead of going around the corner on all 4 wheels, it's off the front bogey like tilts up like that and goes on 2 wheels. So especially with these relatively tight second radius points in the runaround loop, it did derail yesterday. But thankfully, the 08 is behaving. Just going to check my microphone battery. Oh no, it's fine. Because obviously I've streamed now for a total of about, well, not far off 4 hours with this microphone. I just haven't used it for that long, so just wondering if it had started flashing for low battery yet, but thankfully it hasn't. Did I see your building tip? I'm pretty sure I've read it. Whether I've read it out, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Is it this one? Have built some nice wagon kits before. The parkside ones you can't go wrong. Might make a good stream. I'll take a look at them. That could be quite fun, that. Maybe I should do a load of kit building live streams, wagons, the wagons, the Airfix kit. Yeah, I definitely need to look at getting some of them wagons. Because although I've got coal wagons, some coal wagons, again, I'm going to need a lot more. I haven't got any sort of log wagons, so I definitely could do with something like that.
Hello.
Wordsworth Model Railway card kit things. I don't. Has it come through or not? I'm not sure. I think
Right,
that hasn't come through. Yeah, we can hear you, Drayden.
Cool, I got back. Sorry about that.
You might have to post it again, Timber Valley. I don't think it's come through.
Are you having your tea soon?
Say again, Jaden.
Are you having your tea soon, or?
Yeah, do you want to maybe call it a day at 5:25, maybe?
20 past, 25 past, yeah, something like that.
We call it 25 past, we'll aim to finish for, because it's spag bol night, which means I'm cooking.
Sure.
Have a look at Wordsworth Model Railway card kits. It's a website. They're free to download and print out. They're good. I will note that down on my phone. Thank you very much. I'll definitely have a look at those. If they're free, then I suppose all I'll need is the material and the card. So thank you very much for that. I'll definitely have a look. Sounds like a good idea. Wordsworth Model Railway card kits. Okay, I've noted that down in my phone. Thank you very much. I shall definitely take a look at those. I'm not sure that came through. Either for some reason it's got caught up in YouTube's filter or StreamYard's playing it, but that didn't come through. I do apologise. Well, I think I'm going to give my ears a rest from the rattling of trains, although they're you can't really complain. I do enjoy it. I'm going to slow the trains down now to a nice walking pace for the last couple of minutes.
Do you want to call it then? Do you want to slow them down, give them a few more laps, then we can call it?
Yeah, we can do. I mean, we can go to 25 past if you want, but I just thought I'd slow everything down for a little while.
Oh dear. Well, on the topic of slowing stuff down, I've just had a big crash. Well, not a big crash, but I mean, you can just see it on my camera. I don't know why it's done that particularly, but all right.
Ooh. Hopefully, hopefully you can't hear this on microphone, but the HST dummy car is squeaking like a banshee. Oh, that's awful. I'll take it off for a second. You couldn't hear that when there were trains were going fast because there was so much rattling. But, dearie me, that was making a horrible screaming noise. What's everyone's favourite loco in their collection? At the moment, it still is the 9F, the 1-to-1 edition 9F 92212. It's a beautiful engine. My most expensive, as I said earlier, but definitely worth it, and it's really nice to have a 9F. So that one, definitely. Probably followed by, at the moment, the 37. I am very much enjoying that.
I think my favourite's probably just the same as George. Unfortunately, it's also I think it is the most expensive. It's my my Southern Wartime Black unrebuilt Merchant Navy spam can. It's 21C7. That's the number, 21C7, because you know how Southern like to put letters in their numbers, and it's called Aberdeen Commonwealth. Beautiful locomotive.
I've just jiggled that HST dummy power car.
There you go.
Hopefully, it'll be a little bit quieter.
See, George, you need to get on the Merchant Navy. On the Merchant Navy, what's it called? Great, on the little Merchant Navy train.
Possibly, I need to.
See, look, there you go. Oh, Element Lines. I have one of them. I have her.
Al has said, enjoyed your stream. Off to feed my cats and have my tea. So see you next time. Cheers, Al. Thank you very much for joining, Al. Very much appreciated for joining, watching, and commenting. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Al. See you next time. Have a nice evening. There you go. Oh, Element Lines. Well, I just so happen to have Element Lines as well. I think Element Lines and I've got Element Lines, Bibby Line, and Aberdeen Commonwealth. I think the two rebuilt ones, which Element Lines and Bibby Line, would go second favourite. Just toppled. There you go. There's Element Lines. She's still in her box because she's broken. I need to send her off to be serviced. but I need to send her off to be serviced, like I said. But they're quickly followed by, well, actually no, they're slightly beaten by my wartime black Aberdeen Commonwealth, which George is probably fed up of me talking about, which is this one here. This, honestly, I cannot get over this. Every single time I look at it, it's so simple yet so effective and just striking and just beautiful. I know. I mean, my dad he shouts at me because I talk about it too much. And then when he doesn't shout at me, he recommends that I stop talking about it so much. I think is the way to put it. And then I've got Bibby Line over here, which I'll reach over and grab. And this is Bibby Line here. This is Bibby Line. If you have got good eyes, you'll notice that she's missing a smoke deflector on this side. So I need to contact Hornby. Hornby's little department, I guess, of like spares or whatever you want to call them, where they sell like smoke deflectors and couplings and stuff, and ask if I can get a spare one. So that's my little Merchant Navy collection. I'll shut up now and let you guys actually learn something intellectual, something of good knowledge from George, because he's cleverer than I am. So I'm going to put these.
Thank you. My 37 since the review seems to have become a lot smoother and a lot slower. Seems to definitely run a lot slower and smoother since the review. I know it's on a different controller, but I'm quite shocked at how well it's running now.
I would guess and say that's just because the motor's kind of warmed and bedded in.
Yeah.
You know, like when you get a new
It did have
car.
2 hours of running for the review, as all my trains will.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you know when you get like a new car, you have to run the engine. I would guess probably it's something like that.
So my 9F did take a lot of hours of running before that got quiet, because it used to be quite rattly, to be honest. But after a lot of running, it did bed in quite well. Anyway, are we going to call it there?
I guess, yeah, I'd say so. I've got my train stopped, so.
The next train into the station, I shall stop. I could have stopped the 37 then, but I thought I'll let it do another lap. So, in comes the HST. Seems to have quietened down. Still could do with the service, but it definitely seems to have quietened down. Think I haven't spattered because the signal on the left is set to green. The one from the right is to go into the siding. Peter Spares is your best bet. I agree. I've had several things from them. In fact, quite a few parts to fix the Tender Drive Golden Eagle have got. And well,
if you think it's worth contacting them for a spare smoke deflector, I will do so.
You could contact them, but I have known them give them spares as, I've known them sell you spares, but as Timber Valley says, they're probably not your best bet.
Nah, I mean, it's a bit of a. It'll be a bit of a disappointingly small order for Hornby. It's literally just one smoke deflector for Booby Line.
In fact, what is it? A Merchant Navy? Did you say?
Yeah.
Is it? Does it have the name on the smoke deflector?
No.
All right. So if I just search Merchant Navy smoke deflector, because if it's Tornado, obviously you've got to have a smoke deflector that's got Tornado in it.
Yeah. No, the Merchant Navies have this sort of like circle with the 2 lines out the side, with the Merchant Navy class and the name and the flag in the middle on the boiler. I've been debating getting another Merchant Navy, which is I can't speak now. I'm forgetting how to English. British India Line, the one with the black nameplate instead of the red nameplate, because I saw her in person when I stayed at Hellerfield for a week. If you watch my latest video, you'll see that. And since I saw her, I was thinking, you know what? I've got multiple Merchant Navies with the red nameplate. I need to get one with the black nameplate. So I'm keeping an eye out. If anyone sees a good deal, wants to sell one, I'll be more than happy to talk. Not guaranteed.
Having a quick search, I haven't come across the exact ones, but I'm sure you'll be able to find them.
I mean,
anyway.
Yeah.
I'll go on. Carry on.
I'll give my local model shop a little talk, but yeah.
Yeah, you might be able to help you out.
Anyway, do you want to do the honours of the outro?
Yeah. Well, it's we've gone on for a little bit longer than we expected, but there's no problem with that. So thank you to everyone for sticking with us for the live stream today. Thank you everyone who's been watching and who's been in the chat. It's been lovely to see you all and have all the conversations that's been going on today. Tomorrow, me and Jaden are back on his channel. Time as yet unconfirmed. We'll probably discuss that tonight or tomorrow. But tomorrow, me and Jaden are back doing another collaboration live stream on his channel tomorrow. And we may end up doing one back on my channel on Friday, but I'm not sure how available I am to do that on Friday. We'll have to see. But yeah, thank you very much indeed for watching. And well, we hope to see you all again tomorrow. I'll hand over back to Jaden for the final couple of words before we end tonight's stream.
That was a lot more of a professional outro than I could do, so I'm happy I got you to do that.
I'm a good waffler. What's happened? Oh no. Jaden's mic has died for anybody who's not in the chat. And I seem to be the only one with the camera on screen. Oh, no, he's back.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Right, can you see me? No, you can't see
We
me.
can see black
You
screen.
can hear me, though. But you can hear me.
There we go, you're back on.
Alright, good stuff.
Right, we'll just pretend that didn't happen, and I'll hand over to Jaden for the last few words of the stream before we end.
Well, we'll just edit it out like they do in the movie somehow. Anyway, well, yeah, basically what George said. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hopefully there'll be one tomorrow and then on Friday. Times, like George said again, yet to be confirmed. We'll let you know as of when we ourselves know. It's been a great stream. Thank you for everyone to come over. Thank you so much for George for coming over to my channel to do this stream.
No
It's been so much fun. I hope you all have a nice evening. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
All right, chaps. We're still